All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Voice by Matt show. I'm Matt Bertho, your host. Today, I have literally, because he is, one of my best friends, a guy that instilled so much in me at the Arte Live event is when I first met him in October 2019. Him and his wife, Janelle, they kind of just took me under their wing and said, come talk to us. And since that moment, Jeff and I have just been talking literally every week. And I've been following his journey. He's been following my journey. We've been evolving, been changing together. We run in some of the same circles as he runs in, and then he tells me kind of what's going on in his circle, and I tell him what's going on in my circle, and that's kind of the relationship that's been built. And he's a brother. We have a great bond, a great working relationship together, and I consider him also a mentor in my life. I've never told him that until this moment, but it's true. I look up to him. He is a person that has a similar background to my family. He grew up on a farm, and his grandfather and his dad worked that farm, and he did. And then he worked in construction for a little bit. He played hockey. He had a chance to be an amazing hockey player, from what I hear. And so I love that about him already because he's a competitor. And he also has one of the most successful insurance companies in the United States of America, Blue Sky Benefits. And he is one of the coolest people I know, and a good, hearty, warm, loving father of two kids. His youngest just graduated high school, going to college. So they got an empty nest now. But everybody, I'd like to welcome to Voice by Matt, sharing his voice with us, Mr. Jeff Brekken.
Matt, that was an unbelievable introduction. I don't know if I deserve that, dude.
You totally deserve that. Like
Wow.
you I mean,
Crazy.
you've changed my life. Like you totally
Woo.
did.
Wow. Thank you, brother.
And I know there's other people out there that are your friend that love working with you, and you've changed their life too.
Yeah, that's what I hope to do in life, man. It's just, I want to leave this world a better life for a lot of other people. And, it's all about team. And as you said, whether it's hockey, whether it's, work team, whether it's family, whether it's, whatever it is, it's, to me, it's team.
Yeah. So let's talk about team a little bit. I mentioned the farm because part of Voice by Matt is, you know, uh, giving people the real deal about your true, authentic voice. And I also work with Jeff as a coach with voice, and it's something that we've talked about a lot. And what I would like you to do, Jeff, is just give them a little background about the farm and the experience of the farm, and the hardships, and just kind of the what makes Jeff Brekken Jeff Brekken. Like, because I think a lot of times on podcasts, a lot of times in, for sure, business podcasts, we talk about the results a lot. We talk about strategies and processes and tactics, and the most important part is people and our soul and the development of our soul. And in my case, me trying to help people find their true, authentic voice. And Jeff is doing an outstanding job finding his voice, as you can hear already today. But Jeff, give him a little taste of who Jeff Brekken really is and where he came from.
Well, for sure. A year ago, a lot of, I've always wanted to, have a podcast or, be on stage or tell my story. But, man, I never had the guts and I never had the wherewithal to do it. And meeting Matt, a couple years ago, you were one of the driving forces to get out there and do that.
Mm,
So I appreciate you and everything that you've kind of helped me with too. So I appreciate that.
man, thanks,
So
dude.
on the farm, you know, I I loved it. And to me, being able to spend time with my dad and grandfather, and man, that was awesome.
So
And
did you get to ride the tractor?
I mean, yeah, up until age 8, and then I
Wow.
was on my own. So
What? You won your own?
no, ever since I was age 8, and then I was on my own, right?
Oh, you're
So
on your own. Okay.
yeah. So basically, from age 8, 9, 10, I mean, I was working, 8, 9, 10 hour days, 12-hour days, depending on harvest or not. So yeah, I mean, that's just the way that farm kids did it, you know.
You can, I mean, you when you talk about the farm, like give us a visual like what the farm looked like.
Well, we had, a few thousand acres and
A
no,
few thousand acres.
yeah.
That's a big farm.
Well, depends on what area of the country you're from,
Okay. Well, it's
right?
big to me.
Yeah, I mean, right. We were cash crop, no animals. So, you know, fairly large machinery. So, I mean, it really all is perspective. So where I live now is only like 3 hours from where I grew up.
Hmm.
And the farms here are way smaller than they were in the Red River Valley.
Hmm.
And so that was, they're only like, anywhere between 300 acres and, you know, 2,000 acres here versus 2,000 to 5, 6, 7,000 acres where I grew up.
So Jeff, you
I mean,
talked about
there's a farmer that had 25,000 acres, but where I'm from, and that's where it's a huge corporation, right?
wow. So when storytelling is kind of one of the key components to finding your voice and sharing your story. What's one of the best memories that you have on the farm with grandpa and dad?
Oh, my cousin and I used to play so many jokes on my grandpa.
Like what? I
Like
don't think I've ever heard this.
during harvest time, you know, in the wheat fields and stuff, we used to find frogs and toads and stuff, and we used to uh, put toads in his lunch pail. So we need to open it up and have a sandwich. There'd be like 3, 4 toads. I mean, just stuff like that. And then we used to ride snowmobiles, and we'd go out and into the shed and get our snowmobiles ready to go, and they'd be chained up because he'd be, we'd play practical jokes back and forth on each other. So,
So that's where you got your humor.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Practical
I could.
jokes are awesome.
Oh yeah. Like we don't have snowmobiles in Kansas. Uh, and you're from the Minnesota area, correct?
Yep.
Um, but you know, just you talking about a farm and with the cash crops and the big combines and the big, crazy equipment that, I never know what it is going down the road. But there's something about growing up around a farm that it looks different. Like the sky looks different on a farm. But before we started this, we were talking about Field of Dreams and about the sky and about the smells about in the farm, right?
You
So
appreciate. those smells and a freshly cultivated field, freshly mowed grass or a ditch. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And those memories that you created, nothing can take those away ever.
100%.
Um, and I think because of that, Jeff, from what I've observed of you, that's why you come across other people as someone that they want to know, that they want to know more about because you're so warm, you're so inviting. Um, and I think that that has something to be said with the environment that we grow up in. Um, because I'm sure that you had people come and help, right? Like that weren't from, you know, your home per se, but they would come and,
Good help on the farm. Yeah.
yeah, like everybody's family, right? You come in, you eat together, you go out and do your thing. I remember uh, my dad, he grew up on a farm, and growing up, we got to go to the Bertho farm a lot. The big red barn, they had the grapevines and the peach
We
tree
didn't
and
have
the
grapes.
yeah, you didn't have grapes, the green beans, the asparagus, all that stuff. But the red tractor, and then there's a blue tractor, and I remember riding that sucker, and the, we'd have dirt clod fights. I don't know if you did that. Like we'd take the dirt clods that were just mounds of dirt, and we'd throw them at each other and have little wars like they're grenades.
We used to throw
Um,
sugar beets at each other in the fall.
there you go. I mean, I'm not gonna say this. I did this too often, but there probably were some cow pies picked up and thrown at my brother at some points for sure. Um, but those memories growing up, tire swings, jumping in the hay, like those can't be erased. And
No,
so the reason why I'm going there first is because who do you represent, Jeff? Like who are your people that you help now in the business that you're in?
hard class, blue collar working folk of America.
And kind of unpack that. Like, why did you choose to help them?
Because that's who, you know, that's the backbone of America. I mean, that's, truck drivers, trucking companies, manufacturers, construction. That's that's who makes the world go around.
And so your second career before insurance was construction.
Yep.
You built homes. And then why did you get out of that?
Well, the economy kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Not today, Jeff." And I didn't really see that. I was president of our local builder association, and we didn't see. We knew it was going to slow down. We didn't know it was going to stop. And unfortunately, a lot of good people and good companies um, got sidelined for a long time in the construction industry, and I did not want to sit around and wait for it to come back. So I wanted to get into something that was going to be halfway recession proof, and nothing is really recession proof, but insurance is halfway recession proof because not a lot of people want to give up their life insurance, their dental insurance, their health insurance, their life insurance. I mean,
Hmm.
they're just not going to do that, right?
No.
So it's halfway recession proof. And so I got into that, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So kind of tell them like what you've built and who you are and what companies you're working with right now.
Yeah, so we got into this in 2010, and you know, to be honest with you, I always tell people it's not that glamorous. It's behind the scenes, and when you think back to your third grade teacher, and your third grade teacher asks, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And everybody raised their hand, and everybody says, well, I want to be like a fireman or a policeman or an astronaut or a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Not one person raises their hand and says, I want to be an insurance person, right? Not one person. But yet, there's a lot of insurance people out there.
Yeah.
So it really is, when I was in construction towards the end of '08, it got really greedy, and
Hmm.
it still is.
Did you find yourself being greedy?
I found myself working way too much and being unappreciated for the work I was putting in and for the
Hmm.
quality that I was giving. That makes sense.
Yes.
Um, I was giving all of myself and receiving nothing in return
Hmm.
and being stepped on. I thought in my mind, right?
Yeah.
So it gets to be no fun when you are on that end of it, right? So this, it you are giving people what they want. In return, they they thank you for it.
Hmm.
It's a win. It's a true win-win situation. So as long as the service is there, and as long as there's there is that true win-win situation, people are super appreciative of what you're doing for them. So and that's just an awesome situation. So
Yeah.
that's the way it
How
should be out there.
do you feel like you're in your passion, your purpose with the current career that you're in?
Yeah, I truly love what I do, and it's very it's fulfilling. I do.
So you asked me this on your podcast. I'm going to ask you the same question. What is your purpose?
My purpose is not only on the client side, but it's also on the the rep side of things, is to give people an opportunity to do the same thing that I've done
Hmm.
on the client side in insurance, is to give them an opportunity to do what I've done in insurance on the client side.
Hmm. So when you say what you've done, what do you mean by that?
To build it, to be part of this team, right? For recruiting agents onto our team and to give them the opportunity. So yeah, do we want to be bigger? Yeah, we do. To give people the opportunity to have a great income and have people um, take care of clients the way that we know how to take care of clients, and give clients the opportunity to have better protections for their employees like they have never had before. I think small to medium sized employers are way underserved for what they're receiving currently from their
Hmm.
brokers.
So you have a lot more services that these small and mid cap companies could take advantage of if they came and talked to your company.
100%.
Yeah. Well, what I know about you too, Jeff, is what's your um, philosophy of service when it comes to products that you can provide for people, like because I know in every industry, in every genre of business, and everything in the world, there's a certain way to do things. There's a certain blueprint, like that everybody kind of does this thing, right? So what would you say is your like for me, if I was pitching myself to a client, I'm going to teach you a little bit about singing. I'm going to teach you a lot about life and a lot about yourself. All right. And I'm going to help you find out who you really are and find your voice. Right. So, for your business, for your company, Jeff, what's like your thing that sets you apart from other insurance companies in the world?
For us, I truly think that, and I, a lot of insurance people are probably going to hate me for saying this, but I truly believe that having an insurance license is an absolute commodity. Anybody that has an insurance license can sell insurance. But what is your agent doing for you, right? Most insurance agents and most that have clients, right? And I'm talking business to business, right? What are they truly doing for you or doing for that client to help them and help their bottom line? Most insurance agents is that client's agent because they are either going to church with them or they know them from the golf course, right?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, anybody with an insurance license can sell them what they have to offer:
Right.
health insurance, life insurance, dental, vision, whatever that is. But what are they truly doing for you as a client to either put money into your bottom line or increase your revenues, or both?
So Jeff, when you say bottom line, for people that don't understand what you're talking about, can you explain that?
So, what are they doing to look out for your profits, right? Are they, is that insurance agent helping you save, save money either on your taxes or either on your employee expenses, on your payroll tax liabilities? Um, or it could be something totally different, right? On your on your payroll, on your internet services. I mean, it that we can bring you so much value on other services because we have such a huge network of talented individuals when it comes to websites, when it comes to taxes, when it comes to social media, when it like you're not going to get an agent anywhere that's more networked than me. I truly
So,
believe that.
well, and for everybody that's listening to this, you can tell that Jeff knows what he's talking about. Like Jeff, and what I know about Jeff too, he's constantly learning new tricks, new ways to make it better for the client. Um, one of the coolest things that he told me a couple weeks ago was a service that he has for clients which helps with their mental health, right?
Right.
Can you say a little bit about that? Because I've never heard any insurance person talk about a program like that ever. And this is like we all need this right now.
Yeah, for sure. So, most mental health programs are centered around EAP, employee assistance programs, and it's employee assistance programs. And I'm not knocking them because they do decent work, and that's all pretty much anybody has to fall back on. But when I call up, say I've got a problem or an issue, and I call up for an appointment, typically what's going to happen is, hey Jeff, we've got an appointment, January 3rd. Well, it's August, mid-August. Myself with a mental health issue or an issue that I need resolved mid-August, is January 3rd going to help me right now?
No.
Hell no, it's
No.
not. So I put the phone down, right? How is my emotions? I'm crushed,
Yeah.
right? So me being a male, I'm already thinking, okay, I need to talk to somebody. I'm finally going to be able to talk to somebody. I'm at my wit's end. They just freaking crushed me saying, we're 4 months out.
Mm.
How do you feel?
Oh, defeated
Right.
because it's just going to get worse.
Now they don't want to freaking talk to me for 4 more months. Right. So in my network, our network, actually, um, we have a buddy that came up with a brand new strategy for mental health. And I'm proud to say that we're in the under 100 group. We're the only agency out there in America that has this available to sell. So
Wow.
there is this thing out there that you have immediate access to uh, to mental health, right? So if I'm going through something at home or wherever it is 100% confidential. You can text, you can call. So if I'm going through a crisis, whether it's drugs or alcohol or suicide or whatever it is, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling lonely, doesn't matter. Whether it's myself being the employee or a spouse, we have
Hmm.
access to it.
Wow.
It is absolutely awesome. You can have that within a half hour, 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. It's there for you. And you get a person that has literally gone through that same exact issue.
Wow.
It's awesome.
So this is a service that a company could purchase for its employees,
Yep.
and I bet it's relatively, not that expensive to make that work for them.
It is
Um,
$4 per employee per month.
whoa, $4.
It is the least expensive benefit anybody will ever spend on their employees.
I just want to know, like, why isn't that something that's common in every employee's package? Because with COVID and all the crap that we've had to deal with the last year and a half, that sounds like a service that multiple companies should pick up on.
Matt, I just got goosebumps because the amount of suicides that we deal with on a daily basis, being in insurance, it's not even funny. It's
Oh,
not even
God.
funny.
That's
And
terrible.
us as an agency, like I get calls daily saying, hey, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one.
Ugh.
because we've got a lot of companies
And
underneath us,
you'd be some of the first people to know.
and it's ridiculous. It sucks. And there's so much, like, we do not need this mask shit to go into effect. We do not need another shutdown because
Yeah,
it is skyrocketed suicides in this country.
and the mental, well, I was just talking about this with one of my friends, is that, we talked about on your podcast kind of what I went through in the last year and a half. And now I know, because we've both read Winning by Grover, and we listened to Goggins, and we've heard Andy talk about it. I went into the dungeon, bro, like for a year and a half,
Yeah.
and just battled. And like the guy for the last year and a half that I was, he was kind of an a-hole. Like he was kind of a jerk to everybody around him. But I talked to my buddy Michael about it today, and I think it was because I felt constantly threatened. Like I felt constantly on attack. Like I had to fight every single day to just get this little thing to happen for my kids, for my students, or for
Yep.
my clients, or for me, right? For my family. And negotiation and compromise needs to happen in our country. Um, I'm a public school teacher. Uh, as you know, a lot of bull crap is being said about a lot of public school teachers in the United States and the world. I'd like to think I'm not in that category of the people that are getting the brunt of that, but I am still a teacher, you know, and I know being in insurance, there's also some negative connotations sometimes as an insurance person.
Yep.
And so you're talking to a guy, Jeff, who genuinely, you can hear how much he cares about people. You can hear it in his voice, how much it hurts to hear this person just committed suicide. And being at the call, being a person that has to hear this information every day, I mean, could you imagine, public, about hearing every single day about people committing suicide every single day? I mean, I guess as an insurance, CEO also, just the death, right? Just death period.
Right.
Hearing about that every day, um, it's not it's it's not just a business. It's like,
Most people hear about it like you know, on the radio, or, even in the military, the 22, right? Like every 22 seconds. But it's it's more than that. And
it's
that's
a
not the
re
general public, right?
no, and it's a reality for you. Like I get it, man. I feel that now. And uh, that's passion, man. And that's something to fight for, you know? And like I know Jeff, and I know like the people that he gets to work with every day, they get to be around this dude that is full of love, full of kindness, full of passion. Um, and I think it's awesome that you kind of let people hear that passion today with what you're talking about, because this is something I've been waiting for, to let people know the real Jeff, right? And as you could hear in his voice too, like it's irritating, man. Like the last year and a half was hard. And I think everybody, I don't think this is like an inaccurate statement. I really think that everybody really wants this to get better. Like
Oh,
everybody
100%.
across the board.
And Matt, this is not political, anything like that. But I mean, like, it doesn't matter if this it doesn't matter what side you are on.
Right.
Like, we just don't need we just don't need a shutdown at all. I don't care what side anybody's on. Like,
Yeah,
doesn't need to happen.
I agree with that. I don't want to shut the country down again. And as a teacher, as a businessman, going remote again, no, no,
Like,
no, 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 no.
human nature says that people need to be with people, and I want to see your lips move to be able to read your lips, right? I mean,
Yeah, I,
that's how people communicate.
you know, I just like everybody, I lived in this just like everybody did, and there were parts of me that came out in the last year and a half that I just did not like. Like I did not like being that aggressive, that um, belligerent, that irritated, that frustrated. But there were times like I had, it was almost like I had no choice, you know. And with what we kind of got off on a tangent, but I think it's important to say like communication has to happen, and it's got to be hard, and it's got to be open, and it's got to be uncomfortable, and people need to listen to each other and learn from each other and accept each other and try to find some common ground, um, instead of just yelling
Yeah.
and screaming and going crazy, because it makes people like me and Jeff show sides of us that are not necessarily our best sides. And then, you know, if it lasts for a while, it's hard to find that balance back.
Well, I want to go to my local restaurant. I want to support them. I want to support everybody, right?
Yeah, I do
I don't want to
too.
see people shut down.
And I want to teach. I want to teach, bro. Like I want to teach. Like I miss people. I miss people. I miss laughing. And
Yeah.
Jeff makes me laugh a lot. Like every week he makes me laugh. He's quick with the wit. And um let's go on to a different subject. Um let's talk about your family a little bit,
Yeah.
cuz I, part of your family is your voice, right? Like you use your voice with them, and um what can you tell us about the family?
Oh man, I got two awesome daughters. One works with me here, 21-year old, and yeah, she she actually just had heart surgery, recovering awesomely from that.
Yes.
So that is great news. And then my 18-year-old is going to be um, moving to, well, she just graduated high school and becoming a freshman and going to pre med. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to be empty nesters here real shortly. So,
And Janelle.
yeah, well, yeah. And mother of both children and wife are, she's now, well, she's been a nurse, RN, for now like 27 years.
Whoa.
Been together 33 high school
Oh.
sweethearts. So yeah, she's in the ICU department of a hospital, pretty large hospital. So yeah, it's
Mm.
kind of a crazy deal.
Well, I love that. I mean, you guys serve. You are service people. Like at your heart, that's who you've always been.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's got to be challenging, but also a giant blessing to have your daughter working with you. Um,
Yeah. So yeah, we got one in insurance, and then with me, and then we got one going into medical with just like mom.
Service, helping people.
Yep.
Man, like it's and I just love the they did a little vacation and Jeff in his typical form played the National Lampoon's Vacation theme.
Chevy Chase.
You took pictures at the Grand Canyon. You did the
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah,
You did
yeah.
the you did the Vegas tour. Oh man.
Yeah, that was fun.
So what I want to ask a couple questions and just rapid fire for you because I know you have a meeting in a little bit. Um, what gives you the most joy?
Watching people around me win,
Why?
knowing that I was a part of it and help them grow.
Service. Again, it just bleeds out of you. And Jeff, what would you say one of your most significant gifts is?
Wow.
Yeah, I threw that one on you.
Most significant gifts.
Yeah, what's your most significant gift? Or gifts? You could do multiple.
I would say I don't know, man. I hate this because
I want you to talk about you right now. This is part of it.
yeah, this is what I'm really bad at.
Well, this is great. This is good. Like, cause everybody, you guys, I just want to say this. Jeff is one of the most outstanding human beings in the world. All right. And to everybody, he is a beacon of light that shares truth and love and humor every single day. And all I'm asking him to do is just own one of them. Just own one. What's one of the gifts that you have that we all benefit from?
I'm gonna say my humor.
I absolutely 1000% agree. So who's your favorite comedian?
Oh man.
We've talked about Burr before.
Yeah, Bill Burr is he's up there. But man, I
Where's he going with it?
back in the day, Eddie Murphy was pretty good.
Oh, yes. I was thinking about him today actually. When he did uh Delirious
Yeah.
and he was talking about white people coming out of the Rocky movies.
Yep.
Rocco!
It's not politically
Rocco!
correct now, so I mean, but I like that stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Uh so Jeff, what would be we're going to go here and then we're going to end real positive and light, all right? So what would be the hardest, most tragic thing that you've ever been through in your life?
Oh, geez.
I know mine's easy. I can just pull the trigger on mine real fast because you already know mine. My dad passing away. Like that was brutal. But what was yours?
Hmm. Probably, you know, there's been a few. One was when my dad told me that we were selling the farm,
Mm.
because I thought I was going to be you know, be on the farm, and I thought I was going to be a farmer.
Mm.
So that was a big one.
Why was that so hard?
Oh, because I spent so many days, and I thought I really wanted to work with my dad. And there's a lot of people that they grow up with their working day in, day out, season after season after season, working with their dad, right?
Mm.
And having that opportunity to learn everything that your dad knows, and I didn't get that.
Man. So I just realized this, Jeff. Like, you had it for a little bit, right? For a little bit, you got to work with him and your grandpa. Did your dad work with your grandpa?
Yep.
So for his whole life.
Yeah.
So I want to give this gift to you right now. You're doing that now for your daughter.
Yep.
Your daughter is getting to work with her dad.
Right.
You guys see the heart on this guy? He is so awesome. You're one of the best people of all time, Jeff Brekken. You just are. And I can't wait for the world to even hear more about you and your big heart and how funny you are. So I'm gonna let you have the end here, and I want you because we've been around for a while on this earth, right? And there are a lot of students that I teach that listen to this podcast. There's a lot of our friends that will probably listen to this podcast. What would you say is one of the most valuable lessons of life that you have learned in your existence that that is evolving, that changes, that you like if you could give something to the digital media world of podcast land and you're gone and no one can pull up your speeches anymore, no one can listen to you anymore, what would you leave them with?
You need to know your self-worth, and you need to know what you're worth. So when I was on the farm, and when I was 9 years old, I saw our hired men punching the clock. And sure, they were 20, 25, 30 years old, but I was doing a lot of the same work that they were.
Hmm.
And I was working 10, 11-hour days. So I asked my dad if I could punch the clock.
Hmm.
So he said, sure, what do you think you're worth? So I said $1 an hour. He goes, okay, that sounds fair. So he started paying me when I was 9 years old. So from 9 until I got out of college, I made what I believed that I was worth. When I got out of college, I had W-2 positions. I was pissed off that they weren't paying me what I knew that I was worth. So I would go in and I would beg for raises, and they wouldn't give me a raise.
Hmm.
So I had to say that I was going to quit as soon as I was going to quit, it instantly gave me a $4,000 raise. And then I was
Whoa.
pissed off because I'd literally told them, what are you talking about? Now I'm worth it, but yesterday I wasn't.
Wow.
So at that point, it's all about principle, right? So that was a couple of jobs. So then I got smart. I said, screw it. I'm going out on my own. So in 1999 was the last time I ever had a W-2 position. And I said, I'm never, ever, ever going to have a W-2 position again. I know what I'm worth. And that bar, by the way, always changes and it always is out in front of me. I'll never hit that bar
Mm,
because I'm worth more every single day of my life.
mm,
So know what you're worth and always, always keep it in front of you.
mm. Man, Jeff, that is so, so good, man. Like, I'm a proud,
Nobody will ever pay you what you are worth. Nobody.
yeah, man. Yes. And that's why we work. That's why we work to better ourselves. That's why we read. That's why we try to stay as healthy as we can so that we can be the best version of us for everybody else out of service and give back our best. And again, guys, like these little moments, that you see little Jeff, little 9-year-old Jeff, 8-year-old Jeff watching those guys punch the clock. I don't know about you, but I could see all of it. I could visualize the whole thing. And dad in the overall saying, "Sure, I think you're worth that." But to instill that in a child that he can determine or she can determine their worth. What's really crazy about this story is that's exactly the question that Jeff Brekken asked me in October of 2019. What are you worth? And then he asked me what I was making an hour or every 30 minutes. And I told him, and he was like, "Well, that doesn't match up with what you think you're worth. Do you really think you're worth that amount?"
I ask everybody that I hire that right now.
Yeah. Man,
I've
Jeff.
changed.
Whew.
And very few people have ever been asked that. And that's what's wrong with our society.
We wait for people to tell us what we're worth.
Absolutely.
And then we settle and we just
Yep.
take it because and then we think that's all we're worth.
That's right. As soon as I stopped settling and I was making 32,000 bucks a year, I instantly made over six figures my first
Hmm.
10 months.
So for all the students out there, all the teachers, all the business owners, all the moms, all the dads, all the brothers and sisters that hear the end of this, I think we all need to ask ourselves that question. What are you worth? And Jeff's answer of you're never going to meet exactly what you're worth. You're going to keep chasing it. But that's a lot of motivation to not stop working and to do what you want to do as a career, something that you're passionate about, something that you love. Jeff obviously loves people and loves helping people and service to people. He doesn't like to see things have to end. And so he does everything possible to make that ending as special as it possibly can be.
I never told you it was going to be easy,
Mm,
but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it.
yeah, because we're worth it.
Correct.
We all get we all get a shot on Earth, to be us, we might as well take the shot to be the best version of us because we're worthy of it. We're worth it. What's your mission statement there, Jeff, at the end that we worked on?
Oh, Matt, I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. So, with Blue Sky Benefit Solutions, we bring a creative, cutting edge approach to benefit programs, which gives our clients an unfair advantage in the marketplace.
Mm.
In doing so, it creates a legacy for you that you are worthy of.
I about started tearing up, bro. That was so good, Jeff.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we do.
And the legacy that you are worthy of.
Yeah,
And now, that mission statement for everybody that just listened to this podcast, that watched it, now you get it. Now you get it. Now you get why Jeff is doing what he's doing and why he is on a mission to help as many people as he possibly can so that, you know, so that the world can be a way better place for him and for everybody. And, the endings, the deaths, the suicides, the loss of farms, the loss of businesses, the jumping from construction to a new business and uncertainty of that, right? That's why you're doing what you're doing because
100%.
you experienced all of those heartaches and you didn't want someone else to have to experience the depth of heartache that you had to experience.
100%. That's right.
Man, dude. Woo! Jeff Brekken, so good. So how can people reach you? How can they get in touch with you? Where can they follow you?
Yeah, man. So website, blueskybenefits.com, IG J Brekken 35. That's Brekken 35. Facebook, just Jeff Brekken. We got a podcast, Addicted to Winning. Whew, sound fire. Yeah, man, it's going well.
Well, I'm just so proud of you. Like I'm a proud coach right now because I've never heard you speak with that much feeling and that much intention and that much clarity, that much resolution going over your mission statement that we've worked on. Like that, dude, what you just did, it came out beautiful, perfect. And we felt every single word, dude.
Yeah, it's focused, intentional. 175 hard, so that helps.
Yeah. And you're worthy. You've been
Absolutely.
through it.
Yeah,
And why would anybody go to any other insurance company when you got a guy like Jeff leading his group, Blue Sky Benefits, with people that actually care about you?
100%, man.
Well,
It's all good.
I I know we went a little over, but that was
But it's
worth it.
worth it.
Man, it was worth it. That last part, Jeff, like, whew, I hope people stay to the end because you dropped the mic on that, man. Like that's the Jeff I was waiting for people to feel, and you brought it, dude. And you shared your voice.
Yeah, man.
And
I
this is just the
appreciate it.
beginning. Yeah, this is just the beginning for Jeff, guys. If you need someone to come talk to your groups, talk to your schools, if you need him on a podcast, Jeff is your guy to give him some inspiration, some love. He's got great stories, obviously, and the humor is coming. I can't wait for the comedy tour because I'm signing up. I'm coming to that. I'm not gonna miss that because that'll be a blast.
We got a lot.
But yeah, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Jeff Brekken, for being on the Voice by Matt podcast. You guys like and subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, and we will see you on the next episode.
Been
Peace.
great. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.